Coach, Auburn, obviously very capable team. Saw what they did to LSU a couple of weeks ago. What's the scouting report on them?
Really good team, playing extremely well. I think they got their first back-to-back SEC, 2 wins. Very well coached. Got great athletes. Got great grit. They got a range of defenses that'll pressure you in the full court and the half court. They're pretty aggressive. I think they're a typical SEC team, and then playing them on the road will be especially hard.
Yeah, they've won 3 straight at home against the SEC. What is that environment like, and how do you describe that to your players?
I mean, it's a range. It's anywhere from LSU to Utah to Florida. I mean, everybody that we've played probably drew a lot of fans there. So I think we'll be okay when it comes to just handling that environment. It's just more so us being able to exhibit our habits, for 40 minutes.
On that same note, big game in Baton Rouge last week, and you kind of turn around and play Vanderbilt. You get an extra day now to kind of breathe and settle. What's been the focus, I guess, after that?
When you play, such a big game, it really takes a lot out of you, physically, emotionally. You're tired. I thought our players did a great job on Sunday, just trying to get their legs back. And then we took off on Monday, and then Tuesday, yesterday wasn't really a great day. And you have to really point out the fact that what you're feeling is an NCAA type feeling, from a physical, mental, spiritual, everything that you have the emotional standpoint, and then it takes you a while to come down. And then once you're coming down, you feel like blah. And then you got to figure out how you get it back. But you gotta know that's what it is. It isn't just your normal Thursday, Sunday game. It had a lot more to it, a lot more ramifications than just really a one SEC road game.
How was today then?
Great, much better. I think sometimes when you point things out to young people, they're like, oh, that's what it is. Let me fix my mind to come in here and the practice habits that we've created, just coming here with it.
Now 20 games into the season, what are some things in particular that you are focusing in on to make sure that this team will be at its very best rolling into March?
I mean, it's more of quality, like quality practices, quality basketball, working through some late game situations in which we all have to be on the same page, offensively and defensively. Ball screen defense is going to be something that will challenge us throughout the remaining of the season, because a lot of people do it and a lot of people have seen us have some lapses in it. So those are focuses, and rebounding is going to be key for us.
Big game for Camilla on Sunday, and she's only scored in single digits twice this season, definitely making a bigger impact than last year. What are the differences you're seeing between the Camilla that stood next to Aaliyah Boston and the Camilla that's out there against with Kits?
Well, I mean, Camilla would tell you that her practices are different. I think you really have to change your focus when you become the focal point. I think she could fly under the radar and allow Aaliyah to take on the brunt of all of that. Now there's no Aaliyah, it's only her, and she's handled it well. Camilla watches film. Camilla does extra after every practice. Camilla is still trying to work through really finding her superpower. And I think, the second half of the LSU game, the Vandy game, she's really trying to come into her own. Actually, one game before the LSU game as well, where you're seeing her pivoting, you're seeing her making multiple moves. We really want her to take some outside shots, so she doesn't have to feel and create like hard twos all the time. So hopefully she'll add that to her repertoire.
You said Camilla's trying to find her superpower. What do you think her superpower is?
I mean, she's a focal point. Like I do think she's the difference maker between us winning the championship or not. It's hard to put that pressure on someone that really it's their first time. Like Aaliyah had a year, it was a COVID year, but she had a year to really understand, this is gonna be me. This is kind of for Camilla. I think Camilla would rather not have the spotlight. Camilla's very unselfish and probably shies away from the spotlight, but the spotlight is only for a very few in our game, and she's one of them. So she's got to embrace it. So that's what we're working towards.
Yeah, you mentioned not having a spotlight. How she's handling all these honors she's got throughout the season.
It's like a regular day. We got to get her better in front of you all. A lot better in front of you all. And once she's able to embrace, that's part of embracing all of it. Y'all want to hear from her. Y'all want to hear, what she's thinking about, how she's feeling, and that's a part of it. She's very intelligent, like super intelligent. She knows how we want to play. She'll rattle off to everybody in our film sessions. It's just you all intimidate her.
She's 6'7". Wait, what? Donna, I can't help but bring up Lamont Paris again in this men's basketball team, and I'm curious, is there a moment early in your career here that reminds you of maybe what Lamont Paris is feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, we've been to a place where we knocked off some heavy hitters. I don't think we've done it in 1 year though, like 1-2 week span. So I think it's a testament to his guys and the culture he's creating and the togetherness, and and also I do think not being ranked this week has brought them a little more tight. Like when things happen, you go within. When you don't think the forces that are working outside of you aren't giving you your just due, it only reinforces the tight-knit group that he has and what it took to go down in Thompson Bowl Arena and be the top 5 team on the road. Incredible. Like the defense is like the very thing that I enjoy because they're gutting up. They're gutting up and getting it done.
Don, as a coach, how impressive is it to you at how quickly Lamont has been able to develop the chemistry with that team? I mean, the way they share the basketball is really just beautiful, especially when you like that kind of basketball.
When I talked to Lamont after they went to the Bahamas, right? It was the Bahamas, and he was like, "We're gonna be good." He said, "We're gonna be good. We got a good team," and when you have a coach say it that early, they know. And then it puts onus on him to get it done because they probably didn't have like 10 practices, and they made a lot of threes, but your 3-point shooting is probably gonna falter at some point, and then you're gonna be who you are, which they become. I've seen their defense become stifling, and I think they're all just playing with a certain togetherness, and I think there's more to it. There's more to like more big wins in their future. So I'm really happy for them. We're trying to figure out what we're gonna do on Selection Sunday. What we gonna do? Because it'll be different around here.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah, Raven came into the season talking about Raven revenge season. Has she mentioned that since? Does she bring it up, like in practice every week, or was that preseason and now she's just out there?
No, she hasn't brought it up. She brings up some other crazy stuff though. Like Raven is very, very funny. Raven is super competitive. I do think she's letting her play speak for herself. She's a lot more aggressive offensively. I mean, she's already aggressive defensively, but I think she's coming into her own. I think a lot of people don't realize. I mean, Raven's really she's young. She's young in college basketball terms, and then we tend to forget about that. But for as young as she is, for the impact that she's made, I will say this: I do think her name should be on some of these national lists.
Don, talking about national lists, we're doing something on a bunch of stuff on Caitlin Clark, and where she gets near this record. Where do you think we're going to be talking about her amongst maybe you know, the elite of the game in the history of basketball when it's all said and done?
I do think she'll be up there. I do. And she's doing it at a time in which there's so much publicity watching her, so many outlets to have, you know, seen her both on TV, streaming, you know, live. So there are so many eyeballs on her that you can't help. You know, even the ones that are just starting to see her greatness will be talking about her, and that's something that some of the other greats didn't have. And so I think she's got the backing of, you know, people inside the women's basketball and some first-time onlookers.
Does it matter that she hasn't won a championship yet, or does that make a difference at all?
No, I don't really think it matters. You know, great players are great players. They leave their legacy, you know, because a lot of them haven't won a national championship. So,
Who you got in the Super Bowl?
huh? I like the 49ers, but I don't think they're going to win.